Check it out, check it out. This is what we got. They got super lucky here. Pretty heavy lean towards the back, a lot of back weight. But with a rope, it should come on over. Easy peasy. Then we got some clearance off that guy. Just clearing it from the building. It's encroaching real heavy. Some cleans on these honey locust trees. We're raising them, cleaning out all the dead wood, cleared them from the building up there. And it's gonna be these three. So there's 3 of us today. That means 2 of us get to climb and 1 guy gets to have fun in the bucket, which we'll save the biggest one for the bucket because, you know, let's be efficient. We got another job to get to. Yeah, should be a fun time. Well, done with that one. On to the prunings now. Alright, check it out, guys. So we gotta trim this honey locust right. We're gonna be doing some clearance over here. And then just a crown clean, crown raise. Now, crown raise doesn't need too much, so I can hit that with the pruner pole. But we got a lot of deadwood all throughout the canopy, and we gotta walk this limb out to clear from the building, which, as you can see, it's encroaching real heavy, and over there as well. So we set something up for that to try and help us out with a little bit of those limb walks. We have a basil anchor here, and I attached it to this very long piece of rope that I use for basil anchors, just to make sure I had enough rope. Because when you do this trick, you got to make sure that you have enough rope to spread it throughout the canopy. But we call this predirecting. Sent the rope up. That was the first initial shot up there. I don't know if you guys can see, but sent it up there first. Then through it again, through that smaller one, and in through there. Sent it through there. Second throw ball shot, or the third one I mean, was right there in the middle, very central. And then last one is on the other side over there. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is where I'm gonna be ascending. Straight up that. And I might even do a fourth one just to end up over here, and so I can do a straight climb up, which probably would be the smartest thing to do. But this trick helps to have central tie-ins to whatever part of the tree that you need to climb to, so that you don't have to be doing those very difficult limb walks without a main central tie-in to help you. Because in each individual spot, like, I'll always be tied in to a higher point, and it also distributes the load that you put, so you can potentially put it on something a little bit smaller. Locust is pretty strong, which if I really wanted to, I could do a central tie-in up there. But the problem is, once I get too far out on this limb, it's not going to necessarily help me too much, because it's going to be pulling me backwards, as opposed to having a little bit closer, and then I don't have to deal too much with the pull of it going backwards. But in this scenario, you know, like I said, I'll always have a main central tie-in to whatever part of the tree that I need to work on, and I can ascend the more difficult parts. Like in this case, you know, if I pre-direct one more time over here, I can just ascend straight up, work, do the majority of the work here, use that tie-in to work that other area over there, take that tie-in out. Now I have a central tie-in, and I can work the middle of the tree, and then I can take out that central tie-in if I need to, and I'll have this tie-in over here to work this back part of the tree. So as you guys can see, I'll always have a good tie-in. But yeah, we'll get up in the tree and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Check it out. That right there is something you got to be mindful of when you're. See, I threw the rope up here, and I'll be ascending straight up instead of over there now. But you have to be mindful when you're sending the rope up that it doesn't get caught on anything like the belly of the rope. In that case, there's nothing there. There we go. So let's clean up there. And there we go. And now we can ascend straight up on this limb instead of up there and then having to walk it out. But yeah, just be careful when you guys are doing the pre-direct, sending the rope up. That's something to watch out for, because that belly of the rope can get caught on limbs going up, and then you're gonna have to throw ball it down to get it down. But you can attach throw line onto the belly and then wiggle it sometimes. If it's dead wood like this, I just send it up and it breaks. But if it's a live limb, you're not gonna be able to do that, and it's going to put the redirect a lot lower than you'd like, which is not ideal. So just keep that in mind. Alrighty, let's get going. Whoa, come on. Oh yeah. So that was something we were talking about in this case. This rope got stuck on this little stub. So, you know, here it's not gonna snap or break, but if it were to be some scenario where it was a little further out and it were to break, essentially all this, the distance that this would have to travel between here and there, all that slack is what you would fall. But I noticed that it wouldn't break, so we'll just lanyard in and take that out. Then we'll have the high tie-in over there. But something to be mindful of. Definitely not perfect, and it takes a lot of time to get it right. It's a lot of messing around with the throw ball. And some of you might be asking, why spend all that time? Well, the simple and easy answer is it saves you energy, and in my opinion, time in the long run. It's more efficient to have that nice tie-in instead of struggling to limb walk out onto something. And some of you, you know, are the best and you can do it, but I don't necessarily tailor my content to those climbers. I more so want to help guys that are looking for other solutions, not just muscle it out, you know. I think it's important to be all inclusive. This isn't a one person kind of trade. I mean, there's all different types of people that work in tree care, and I think it's easy to lose sight of that. With that being said, there's a lot of different ways of doing things. This might not be your cup of tea, but learning, I feel like, isn't a bad thing, and these tricks have their time and place for use. So if you're one of those people that is a one-trick pony, some days you're gonna struggle when you could be applying some of these tricks to make your life easier. But yeah, that's my little rant. I think that's one of the issues with the tree work, is a lot of people unwilling to try new things and really experiment to see if in fact these techniques and new devices and stuff do help. Because I came from a background of nothing but Blake's hitch, and maybe it might not seem that way, but I've done the hard work. I Blake's hitched for 4 years, did tot line, I did natural crotch rigging for almost 5 years actually, and I've come to the conclusion that like I said, there's a time and a place for all different types of techniques, even Blake's hitch. But to be the type of person that doesn't allow themselves to grow just because they can do it the old-fashioned way, that's just kind of silly to me. But there we go. Okay, rant finally over. Let's get to the work. Alrighty, let's get to the work. Now, as we progress further in the canopy, I'll keep showing you guys the redirects. Like, you know, we climbed up through here. I got to clear all this, so I'm going to take this limb off and clear up some of these. But once I take this limb off, it'll free up that bit right there, so I'll have that tie-in available to myself. Hopefully you guys can see that. So it runs through there, straight right into the middle one, and from there to the back part. That middle one's gonna help me really get to everything I need throughout the middle of the canopy. And honestly, I could probably use it for the other side if I wanted to, which I probably will, because it's a higher tie-in than the one I have in the back. But if for whatever reason I needed something a little bit further back, I do have the option over there, 2 options in fact, that I can use. And like I said, as I go through the canopy, I'll show you guys that. And I'll explain this a little more for the people maybe not quite grasping the concept quite yet, but hopefully I can do a good job of explaining so you guys understand. But without further ado, let's get to work. Go. Now we can utilize that top one. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but this technique is called predirecting. It's essentially setting up redirects within the canopy of the tree before you go up with the throw ball. So, in case you guys are curious, you might be able to find more videos on that on YouTube. But I'm not sure if anybody's really explained that. I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually explain the process. that I can recall anyways. And you guys know I'm always looking this stuff up. But if I do find anybody good, I'll link it in the bio or something. Alrighty, so another advantage of the Predirect is the fact that you basal anchor. You can actually do as many natural crotch redirects as you want, and retrieving the rope at the end of the climb will still be a breeze. Not sure how many of you have ever tried canopy anchoring and doing a bunch of redirects. Even with the Texas tug, sometimes that can be a challenge to get it back. But with a basal anchor, we don't have to worry about that. Very easy retrieval. That's another pro to this. And as we move our main tie-in points, we're actually going to feed the rope through to make sure that it doesn't get caught or left behind, so we can utilize our next tie-in point to its fullest extent. So make some room here, and that's what we will do. So yeah, like I said, we have that tie-in point right there that we're utilizing now to kind of take care of this area and help us maneuver backwards. If you guys aren't fans of taking swings, just be mindful that the gaps that you make in between the tie-ins will be the distance that you have to travel. I mean, there's different methods of traversing backwards. You can do a secondary tie-in without the end of your rope, or if you have a very long lanyard, you can walk it back to a point where you won't swing as hard. But do be mindful of that. That distance is all potentially a swing if you take off the tie-in point and then you're just left with the one behind. So I'm sure I don't have to explain that, but for the people, you know, that are a little newer, that is something to watch out for. So yeah, let's keep going. I'll turn the camera back on once something exciting happens. I'm just gonna finish doing boring little monotonous work here, cutting out these stubs and deadwood. So I'll bring you guys back once I explain some more. All right, so we made it. We're here. Check it out. Those are the redirects throughout the canopy. we're gonna take this one out after we finish cutting that front stuff to walk out that limb and take it out. And yeah, just keep walking it back. We'll use this central tying point now. So check it out. This is what I was talking about. We're finished with this area, the zone. Just did a knot to the carabiner here. Blake's hitch. This is a good moment to use the Blake's hitch. I'm using the bitter end or the tail end of my rope. You know, this is the main side. This is the tail end. Made a Blake's hitch, connected it to my bridge, so now I can walk it back. I'm a big fan of swings, but that limb, just the way that it's shaped, the angle that it goes out and where I'm tied in, I don't necessarily trust it, especially shock loading that when I go to swing. So in order to kind of mitigate that and reduce the risk of it potentially breaking and just being more controlled and safe, I'm going to utilize the second tie-in to slowly descend downward, and then I'll be stabilized enough to where I can put my weight on there without shock loading it and putting unnecessary weight on that limb and potentially breaking it if it goes wrong. But this is a good scenario. Blake's hitch, walk it back, you know, test it first on lanyard, and now we can go descending, right? So slowly loosen that up, tighten this up, and you just walk it back. And this would be a method of getting from one point to the other without having to take that swing. Again, if I wanted to, I could use a long lanyard, but I find sometimes the carabiners can get hooked on around branches or stuff, so it's just easier to do the rope and then just walk it back nice and safe. Rookie mistake, forgot the extra battery died, so I had to come down. But check it out, this is the progress. Not the prettiest, but commercial properties, they do want a lot of clearance, so try to cut it to some laterals. Gonna go back up there if I had enough rope to actually come down with both the Blake's hitch and my rope runner. I'll recreate the scenario there so you guys can kind of see how it's more of a controlled descent, and I might even use that time. We'll see how good it is for me, but I'll show you guys here in a sec. Alright, where were we? I think this deserves a like and a subscribe, guys. Come on now. Because I just climbed all the way back up here for nothing. I was already in the middle. But anyways, I'm just going to show you guys that, yeah, this is something that works. And as you can see, it's raining, so that's awesome. But we have 2 points of contact, or tie-in, I mean. And like we had talked about, look at this one. As I was climbing that, it was super shaky. Not something I'd necessarily want to swing into. Like I said, this is a little sketchy, but without further ado, let's go. I'll show you guys that I have full control. If I feel like I'm leaning too much, I can always tighten this, get myself a little closer, and just continue to slack out my Blake's here. And from here, I can take a little swing and I can loosen this up all at once. Now, for some of you that don't feel comfortable doing that, you can slowly just make your way down, you know, have secure footing. At one point, because of the way that this limb is angled, I'm gonna have to lose foot contact, but that's okay, because I'll just weight this system, make sure I capture that slack, and I'll just fall right into it. I can trust it because at this point I'm tied in 2 different spots, and here we go. There we go. You see how simple that was? Nice and controlled, nice and smooth. And I can just come over here towards the middle to work on this limb, take care of that clearance and deadwood. But as you can see, that is the method of walking back your predirect. So, and honestly, any kind of redirect. I mean, doesn't necessarily pertain to this specific scenario. Sometimes you might need to work over there, even in an MRS system, and walk it back. And that's a method of walking it back that you'll be secure and safe. So I'll continue to work and I'll bring you guys back. I think once we get on top of that limb, I'm just gonna take care of a little bit of deadwood down here. Nothing too entertaining, but when I come back, and I'll explain some of the cons of pre-directing, because it's not all good. And I want to make sure that you guys know there's good, but there's also bad. So yeah, we'll be right back. All right, so check it out. This is the tie-in that we had right in the middle, right? Which ideally that would be like our main tie-in. You know, that's the tie-in we want. It's the highest point. Now I'm just gonna say, with the way that this moves and the angle of the limb, I don't think I'd necessarily trust that. So, you know, second choice would be down there, but now we're a little bit lower and we can't utilize the height to our advantage. So, like we had said, that's a pro of the predirects, to be able to distribute the load from all those points, right? Instead of just solely putting it on that. Now, normally when you're choosing a tie-in, you don't want to be compressing, or you want to compress the wood into the trunk downward and upward. You don't want to pull the limb outward, like in this case, because of the way that it juts out almost horizontally. There is a risk of it potentially breaking and snapping. So with that being said, let's go into some cons of the predirect. First and foremost is probably the time. It is a little bit time consuming, especially because you have to be good with a throw ball. And that goes into our next point. You have to have a little bit of practice with the throw ball. It's something that you got to be comfortable with, because you have to be able to reach all these different tie-ins and know how to move the throw ball and the rope in order to get everything aligned right to make your traversal throughout the canopy the best. And another thing is having an idea, creating a path in your mind of how you want to travel throughout the canopy of the tree. It's very difficult for newer guys to do so, but whenever you're going to climb a tree, you should always have a plan in mind and create that path. So for me, you know, I knew I wanted to end up last in that area over there. I wanted to focus on the majority of the work up front, and that's where I wanted to start, which that would have been the last point that I throw the throw ball in. I start, and it's in reverse order. I start where I'm going to end up with actual work my way through, create a path. So from there to here in the middle, to lastly out there, and that's where I'm going to actually ascend and climb and work my way back, right? So having that plan in mind, which can be difficult for newer guys to, you know, visualize that and really think, oh, what tie-in would be best for this area or that area. But it is a little more advanced technique, but once you get proficient with it, it is definitely the most handy tool in your arsenal for very wide trees. And especially if you're going to be doing them solo. Even if you're only doing one side of the tree, you know, if you have help, it can still help vastly for saving yourself energy, not having to find those tie-ins or having to muscle your way up a limb walk. You know, you're gonna have a nice tie-in wherever you go in the canopy of the tree. But yeah, just some things to think about, and we'll continue with the work. I'll show you guys little bits here and there as we go. I got to get moving. I am a production climber, but I took this time to kind of hopefully teach, and you guys hopefully learn something. And I'll show you guys, yeah, the clips and then the final result. This second tie-in is also helping me. You guys can see, kind of triangulate myself between these two areas, because this tie-in back here is just pulling me towards the back, but this front tie-in can kind of help me stabilize right here in the middle, which is kind of nice. So that's why I didn't take it out. I figured it might help me work this area here where it's a little more uncomfortable. We're towards the top of the canopy, so I'm putting a lot of my weight on this limb, which shakes a lot, so it helps to be stabilized. And in this case, this tine is definitely helping me out do that. So yeah, let's get to work. This limb's gonna end up being close anyways. I hate to leave ugly laterals like that, but not a whole lot we can really do when they're asking for clearance, and a lot of it. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? What they pay money for. Alright, now let's walk it back. There we go. This also serves as 2 tie-in points, so you're 100% secure when you go to cut. I always throw on the lanyard anyway when just it never hurts to have that security, I suppose. But let's keep moving. Yeah, it's not the prettiest limb, but what can we really do? So, gotta walk it out there. Let's do that. For that, it's gonna be a little awkward. Get stuff down. I'm gonna have to take out this second tine. But just put it down a little bit first. Nice. I'll bring you guys back once I'm actually working. This is one of those moments you gotta muscle it through. There's no real other way of getting out of here other than utilizing your time in a smart manner to try to offset having to pull your full weight up. Like, it might look like I'm pulling my full weight up, but the tying is actually helping me immensely, because I'm a lot heavier than what it feels like when I pull myself forward. Once I get to that point where it starts yanking me back a lot, that's where I start to loosen up my tying, or my device, I should say. And we made it. I decided to do this area first. I think it would make more sense, because then I can go out there, do that area, and then from there I can just move backwards and take care of the last bit, which is over there. So don't have much left other than deadwood, and after that we'll be out of here. Well, we have one remove over there and cleanup off, but yeah, that's it for this tree specifically. This is one advantage of that long lanyard that I keep mentioning. In this case, we're going to be working a centralized area, so we can set this up and that tie-in will help me rather than always being attached to a lanyard down here. I can have it up here and work around here, still use my main tie-in if I need it to balance and stabilize, but this will keep me central to this area so I can work a little more comfortably, because I can essentially use it as another tie-in point. See? So I can traverse a little easier rather than my main tie-in pulling me backwards. I can actually continue to walk this limb a little further out. And it also helps me minimize the amount of weight that I have to put on these limbs the further that I get out, because I have 2 points where my weight is being distributed through. So, line it up, and we'll get to further working. Yep. That's about it for here. I just got a little bit more down there. I'll show you guys how to deal with that. Definitely got to trust your tie-ins. So, don't attempt this if you're scared. It's absolutely normal. We all get scared. But it's about being safe, right? Utilizing all these tips to maintain your safety. And that's why we're here. To hopefully teach and keep people safe. I know I'm definitely not the best, but I know that I can offer at least some sort of guidance. And my experience does count for something, I would like to think. So, yeah. Oh, that is dead. Glide right through. That's very nice for me. Really shouldn't even be chasing that small stuff, but I can't help myself. I'm already here. I'm already here. Might as well, right? Alrighty. Another section done. Move on to the main one. Oh, look at how that thing shakes. Whoa. Pulling me a little. When you got bouncy tie-ins like that, it's could be a little nerve-wracking too. You always feel like you're moving. Not like 100% stable, which sucks on limb walks. But he said, not always 100% pros. There are cons to everything. I don't think that will be long enough to get on. We could try it, I suppose. I guess I'll show you guys that. Walking the lanyard back. Now, I know I did mention, carabiners can get stuck sometimes, but if you trust it and it's wide open enough, you can give it to swing on over, up and over unions. But sometimes when dead wood and trees and stuff, it can get caught on suckers, so that can be kind of a headache. I think in this case we're clear though. It looks pretty clear. We'll just walk it back with the lanyard. Sounds like a better option, especially how slick this bark is right now. Not too keen on trying to force my way down there and be gripping on the bark, which is very slippery. Okay, at this point we can lanyard in just for safety. So, if it wants to pull some more, it won't catch us by surprise. Let's take the weight off of this other system, off my lanyard. And from here, we can pull it out. There we go. Good. On the downside of the long lanyard, it's a lot to manage. But I think the pros overweigh that con. I think if you're smart about how you do things, it shouldn't be too difficult to figure out a way to manage it all. Now for the daisy chain. There we go. Alright. Bushy. Yep. Oh my goodness, that is slippery. There are moments where you can't get your footing right. That was super slippery, right? Jeez. Just to further complicate things. Well, it would have been a nice swim wash if it wasn't so wet. Good practice. We gotta be a low center of gravity. The higher we are, the more chance of us falling. Okay. Well, we're hanging in there, dude. Not exactly ideal conditions, but we'll make it work.
The only good news is as soon as you get this one done and covered, get this done, it's just the river break and clean up.
Yeah. for sure, man. Can't tell. Is this slow one dead? This one right here?
No.
Oh no.
I might actually I'll go in with the pull saw and just grab the, because there's like 3 deadish leaves off of it. The rest of it is all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get what I can reach then. Yo, can you clear my rope? I got a bunch of limbs on it. Thank you. Alright, now for the true challenge of walking it back. This is gonna be a fun one. I call this technique the baby crawl.
I'm a big fan of that one.
Okay. We can make it work. Just a little bit of arm workout. Oh, fuck. So slippery. take a look at the finished product. Clearance is where you're gonna notice the most. Of course, we did a pretty heavy clearance there. And cleaned out the guts a little too excessively. But at least they'll be worry free. Just finishing off the job with one last one. Found that river birch and we're out of here.